On this all-new episode of Nightlife, we're getting you ready for the upcoming Four Nations face-off by sitting down with some of the Golden Knights representing their countries. Hear from both Alex Pietrangelo and Adin Hill on what it means to represent Team Canada.
First thing I do when I'm done talking to Don Sweeney there is call my parents and tell them just an exciting moment. Something that you're kind of hoping and dreaming of, and for it to come true, yeah, it was awesome.
It's a real cool feeling when you see all these players from around the league, some of the best players in the world, really just buy into one system and accept a role for, some of the best teams.
And from head coach Bruce Cassidy on what it will be like to join an all-star coaching list.
But just being around those minds, the coaches, I've had a chance already to sit with them a number of times, so that, again, learning, soaking it all in.
All of that and more this week on Nightlife.
This is a great stage for the best on best in what we all believe is the best sport.
The NHLPA and the NHL will host the Four Nations face-off.
Four Nations is a dream come true. Just can't wait to have a chance to be a part of that.
I think this crowd is ready for hockey. Matthews scores! Zone right now. What a play! Unbelievable! What a finish! What a save by Pietrangelo!
What an unbelievable save!
To the net, and Barkov scores! Aho scores! Mikkola fires and scores! Oh, what a save! UC Soros! He scores! Leave it to the superstar defenseman. Oh, what a stop!
At any level to represent your country, it's a big honor. Four Nations competing against the best players. It'll be great for the players, the sport, and the fans.
Welcome into this all-new episode of Nightlife. The Four Nations face-off is set to begin in just a few weeks and will replace the normally scheduled All-Star game. The tournament will feature teams from Sweden, Finland, Canada, and the USA as they compete in a playoff-like atmosphere. In the coming weeks, you will hear from all of the Golden Knights who were selected to represent their respective countries. Up first, Darren Millard sat down with head coach Bruce Cassidy to talk about representing Team Canada from behind the bench.
What's your first memory of Team Canada in any variation?
1972 versus the Soviet Union. Paul Henderson scored the game-winning goal. I think I was 7 years old at the time. So they had it on in school, let us watch it. I don't know if it was that exact game, but that 8-game series. That was it for sure.
Can you believe now you're going to coach a best on best, like a version of that team that faced the Soviet Union?
Yeah, it's surreal a little bit, right? Like, I was a hockey junkie since I was that age, so loved it. I went 76, the tournament in Ottawa. I think they had some exhibition games or live game. Bobby Orr was coming back, he had some injuries, so I snuck around the back. I remember at the Ottawa Civic Center in Lansdowne Park to get some autographs to the guys as they got on the bus. Oh yeah. Some of them were great, some of them were grumpy.
You got to play in a World Junior? You got to play
I
for
forgot
the national
about that.
team?
That's right, 84.
You forgot about the
World Junior. Yeah, we didn't win, right? And now Canada has such high expectations so yes, and that was in Sweden. It was actually a great experience because my dad actually got to go with me. He passed away about 3 years after that, so it's one of those ones that, I was glad he came.
What would your dad think? You're being on Team Canada best on best.
He'd be very proud. My parents, my mom's also passed away, but it was much later, but they were hockey parents. They drove their son and my brother Steve to hockey rinks. They gave up They like to bowl and they love to curl. Now, I know some Americans are out there, what, curling? Yes, it's a good Canadian sport.
And 5-pin?
5-pin bowling,
Yeah.
that's the other thing too that's different. So yeah, they gave that up, sacrificed for their kids. So they would be proud. Listen, as a parent, you want what your kids want, right? Sometimes you want it even more. And so they knew what I always wanted, so they'd be proud and happy.
What will it be like coaching a Team Canada versus playing for a Team Canada?
Well, it won't be the same because playing is the ultimate, but I'm not able to play anymore, as we all know. So it's the next best thing, right? It's what I do for a living. So it'll be awesome. You're around the best players in the world. We're going to play Team USA to look across at Jack and Hanny, guys that I'm going to battle with every day, trying to win a Stanley Cup with, Carly with Sweden's. That'll be interesting. But just being around those minds, the coaches, I've had a chance already to sit with them a number of times, so that, again, learning, soaking it all in. Now being in a locker room with 20 of the elite, Canadians in the world will be a great experience.
You were tabbed to coach 2022 Olympics.
Yes.
When that had to be shelved, were you worried it may not happen again?
Absolutely. Things can change. Thankful that Doug Armstrong and Coop and Don Sweeney included me. Like I told them the first time, I'll sharpen skates if that's what I have to do, to be honest with you, like just to be part of the team. And then, it doesn't happen. And we kind of had a feeling for a while it might not, so that was a disappointment. Winning the Stanley Cup here kind of,
it's pretty good.
It was a nice sort of, get you over that.
Comforted you.
Yeah. But now we're up and running again with 4 nations. We'll see if that leads to the Olympics, but that's the ultimate.
Time for our first break here on Nightlife. Coming up next, we sit down with Alex Pietrangelo to talk about representing the Red Maple Leaf.
Are you aware when teammates are on the ice? Or are you that?
I'm going to know when Jack's on the ice.
Yeah?
Yeah, because he's, Carl too. You're so close with the guys. See him in a different uniform is a little bit odd.
Don't go anywhere. Nightlife on Scripps Sports. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Nightlife. The Golden Knights are near the top of the NHL with a total of 7 representatives for the upcoming Four Nations face-off. One of those is stud defenseman Alex Pietrangelo, and we had a chance to sit down with number 7 to talk about what to expect.
When was the first time you wore a Team Canada uniform in competition?
Oh, honestly, my dad could probably answer this better than me. Probably the under 18, I would think the Ivan Holinka was probably the first time I wore the jersey. I played for Team Ontario in the Canada Games, but the Canadian jersey, I'm pretty sure was the Ivan Holinka tournament.
Do you remember any feeling about that?
Nervous. I was, 16 at the time? 17, so I was pretty nervous.
Did you think you'd made it though?
It was a big accomplishment. I mean, playing for Canada. I think for growing up in Canada, the biggest thing was watching the World Juniors, right? That's what you did. Boxing Day, everybody did it. I still watch it. So you always wanted to represent your country, and that was kind of the first opportunity. Made it pretty special.
When was the last time you wore the Maple Leaf?
It would have been World Champions were Sochi with the Olympics. Those were the last 2 times.
Who told you that you were on the 2025 Four Nations face-off team?
Kelly called me first just to give me a heads up, and then Don Sweeney called me just to confirm everything and congratulate me. So it's kind of nice to hear from Krim first. So I guess those guys usually probably get the first call.
Was it on your mind?
I mean, when they're going to announce the team. I wouldn't say that's what I was really thinking about, honestly. I think I got enough going on in my life. I mean, it was obviously we're so busy that going into the season, you kind of have some things that you want to do as a team. That's usually where things are for me. I knew I had a good opportunity to make it, but as we got closer, I guess you're just more curious than anything. So you can either plan a vacation or plan a trip up to Montreal and Boston.
There's no trophy that I know of. It's a first-time event, but it's a big deal. Mm-hmm. Why?
Well, we haven't had a best-on-best tournament since, I think it was Sochi. It was the last time we had that. So I think people are just looking forward to having another best on best. Obviously, there's a few countries missing, but people want to see the best players play against each other. And I just think the league's trying to find ways to adapt and try different things.
Do you like having a chance to go through it before the Olympics next year?
Yes and no. I mean, I've done the World Cup, I've done the World Championships, I've played in the Olympics, so I think being part of the Olympics is something totally different. It's like you're part of a bigger group. So obviously I'm not taking for granted this tournament or the World Cup or World Championships, but when you're at the Olympics and you get to talk to other athletes and see other sports, it's just a different feeling of being part of a different kind of family.
How would you describe a best-on-best competition to a hockey fan that only knows the NHL?
Well, this one doesn't have anybody outside of the NHL, but this is the best players in the NHL playing for their own countries. It's going to be like playing, a Western Conference or Stanley Cup final game where everyone's playing at the top of their game, everyone's focus is dialed in. I think the one thing that changes is if you go up and down the lineup, right, everybody's the top player, one of the top players in the team, top minute guys. That changes, right? You're going to have a role and you got to accept that role, and you're going to probably play less minutes, but it's a real cool feeling when you see all these players from around the league, some of the best players in the world, really just buy into one system and accept the role for, some of the best teams.
Is it weird playing a teammate in the middle of the season?
Yeah, it's a little strange. Yeah, it's a little bit different. I have a couple teammates, which is kind of nice, playing with me, but it's certainly a little bit strange. But at the end of the day, we're going in there playing, and you're not going to try and hurt your teammates, but you're going to try and still play to win.
Mm-hmm. Are you aware when teammates are on the ice?
I'm going to know when Jack's on the ice.
Yeah?
Yeah, because we're going to, Carl too. The reason that everyone's on these teams is because they're competitors and they know how to win, they want to win. So I think when that puck drops, you're going to see everybody's best.
Time for a short break here on Nightlife. Coming up next, we check in with the starting netminder for Team Canada.
First time kind of seeing that jersey in the stall with your name on it, it was pretty special. It's something I grew up dreaming of, playing in the NHL, playing for Team Canada. I'd say Team Canada is harder to make great, so it's kind of lifelong dreams.
Keep it locked. Nightlife on Scripps Sports. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Nightlife.
Moser, a long wrist shot, blocker save Hill, point, off the Kucherov, and a break save Hill! He stopped him twice. Adin walking in all alone to the save Hill! It's it down low upon Colson, to Arvidsson, and a great save Hill! McDavid, one-timer, blue shark, save Hill, rebound loose, and Hill's got it! The game is over, and Vegas survives. It's a 28-save shutout for Adin Hill. Out high, Sherwood feeding it down to Hill's tip, and a save Hill! Adin Hill, his best work of the night. To Darlene, walking in, shot and a glove save Hill.
As Adin Hill really locked it down, thought his best game was after those first two, played really well for the Golden Knights.
Adin Hill has been nothing but stellar in net for the VGK, and he received the ultimate honor when he was selected to man the pipes for Team Canada in the upcoming Four Nations face-off. We sat down with the VGK netminder to talk about what this tournament will mean to him.
You got to play for Team Canada at the Worlds in 2021. You won a gold medal. I've never had the opportunity. What's it like to put on the jersey of your country?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. The first time kind of seeing that jersey in the stall with your name on it was pretty special. It's something I grew up dreaming of, playing in the NHL, playing for Team Canada. I'd say Team Canada is harder to make great, so it's kind of lifelong dream. So yeah, it'll be cool. Four Nations here, and this one's best on best. The World Championships were a little different. Guys are playing in playoffs, and it was during COVID, so roster wasn't quite as stacked. But no, it's an honor to represent the country, and I'm more than excited to get it going.
Incredible. Unbelievable! Misfits to champions. The Vegas Golden Knights win the Stanley Cup in 2023.
We hear people say all the time, "Oh, he's won." And there must be something about that experience that helps you go forward. What is it?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess even just since for me being a little kid playing hockey, I always have liked the big games. So I think just knowing that you can kind of survive the pressure of the NHL playoffs when teams you're playing are at their best level of hockey they've been at all season as well.
Tell us about the phone call. Who called you? What'd they say? And And how did you respond when you were told you were on Team Canada?
Yeah, no, I got a call from Don Sweeney and just saying congratulations, and Kelly let me know too. So yeah, I mean, you think back to just being a little kid, and first thing I do when I'm done talking to Don Sweeney there is call my parents and tell them just an exciting moment. So something that you're kind of hoping and dreaming of, and for it to come true, yeah, it was awesome.
Was there a little bit of pressure on you at the start of this year because you knew you were in the mix?
I didn't feel pressure per se. I was just trying to come out and play my game. So, I mean, you're in the mix and that, but I've always just kind of looked at things, just take it day by day, and like the results, whatever happens there, will take care of itself. All I can do is just try and prepare the best I can and put forth my best effort.
Every kid that played sports,
yeah,
at some point in time has been watching the Olympics and watching someone from their country have a gold medal put around their neck. Are you the same? Have you had that? Have you had that dream?
Yeah, no, I went to, actually, before I was even a goalie, I went to like Jerome McGinley Hockey School in Calgary. And he brought back one of his gold medals, and I got to put it around my neck, take a picture with him. So pretty cool moment there. And then like, you just remember where you are when you're a kid watching the Olympics. Like, I remember one of my hockey teams getting together in a teammate's basement, and we watched the golden goal that Sidney Crosby scored in 2010. So like, just have those memories as a kid growing up watching the Olympics. So yeah, if I did get the opportunity to play in Olympics, it would be a dream come true. And yeah, that's bigger than just hockey. That's athletes all around the world of every sport. So yeah, no, it'd be an honor.
What event would you go see?
Oh, I'd definitely check out the curling a bit just to see, because Canadians hopefully do well in that this time around. Yeah. But I think some of the downhill snowboarding and skiing and stuff would be pretty crazy to see live. The speed skating, I don't know. I'd try and soak it all in. I'd go to an event every time I could.
The games will be played in Montreal and in Boston. Do you like those buildings?
Yeah, I love them. Those buildings are always loud. They always have good atmospheres. Especially playing in front of a Canadian crowd in Montreal, that'll be pretty special.
Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Time for our final break here on Nightlife. Coming up next, more of our conversation with Bruce Cassidy.
My role to help the team win is what I'm looking forward to. Where can I contribute? Now you have to switch gears a bit as the head as to the assistant, right? You're a little more details, specifics of what a forward line might need. So you're changing the way you probably pre-scout, look at hockey games, etc.
Don't touch that dial. Nightlife on Scripps Sports. We'll be right back. Welcome back to this episode of Nightlife. We're getting you ready for the upcoming Four Nations Face-Off, set to begin in Montreal in a few short weeks. We continue our conversation with Bruce Cassidy, who was selected as one of the assistant coaches for Team Canada.
So what are you looking forward to the most in your role?
Well, my role, I'm going to be power play and at the forwards end of the bench. So obviously interacting with those players, but I'd say generally my role to help the team win is what I'm looking forward to. Where can I contribute? It's that simple. Just again, being around those elite minds. And now you have to switch gears a bit as the head as to the assistant, right? You're a little more details, specifics of what a forward line might need. So you're changing the way you probably pre-scout, look at hockey games, etc. in a short period of time.
Do you have to be different as an assistant coach?
I think so.
To the head coach?
I think as a head coach, you need to, there's times you got to be direct and firm and command the room and with a, direct messaging.
Let's go! Come on, come on!
I think as an assistant, you're supporting the head coach with what he needs, and that could change from day to day. In a short tournament, I don't know how much it'll change other than take care of your area. Coop may decide before every game or in game, hey, I need to know what line's coming over the board next. Can you help me with that? Or I need you to focus on this area only today, so you're not looking at the big picture of the game. I think that'll be a change for me, because I'm always, okay, what line's coming next? How's the game going? Is there someone I could double shift and because they're going and try to find I wouldn't even say an advantage, but just something for our team that makes us even better. And so you're thinking ahead of a little bit of, okay, timeout's coming. can use our top line because I know they can rest in that, still not lose my matchup. You're going through a lot of those things. I think as an assistant, you're much more in your area.
Will that be an easy adjustment for you, like going from being the head coach one day
I don't
and
know.
a couple of days later?
I'll find out in a hurry, right? Like, so I'm assuming that it will, because I'd like to think, you know, I can think on the fly and say, okay, you got to switch gears a bit, put a different hat on, but you know, it'll be interesting to see if I'm not caught watching the whole play as maybe as opposed to more specific. You're still going to watch the whole play. I mean, but focus. Where's the ultimate focus?
4-on-4, puck possession, puck possession.
Alex Pietrangelo compared it to a conference final or a Stanley Cup final, best on best in this situation. Do you have any idea of what the intensity will be like?
Well, I think it'll ramp up. I think early on there may be a feeling out process, and then it's on, right? That's what happens with hockey. Someone's going to throw the first hit, and it's like, it's on. We're playing for keeps. That's how I feel it'll go. And I feel it'll go more that way versus the U.S. I just have a feeling that both Canadian-U.S. teams are probably built a little more similar than the Finns and the Swedes. Having said that, I mean, the Finns tend to play a physical, hard brand of hockey.
But the North American rivalry.
And then they're all going to know each other.
Yeah.
The Swedes are a little more high hockey IQ, checking, less physical, I think. But they play such a good game. So that might be a little different level of intensity than physicality maybe against the other teams. But no matter what, you're playing against the best. So you better be ready to go.
Can't wait to watch. Canadian to Canadian, good luck.
Thank you, appreciate that.
That does it for this episode of Nightlife. Make sure to tune in next week for special content from this week's road trip. Until then, VGK faithful, stay golden.